TelecomTV, where ICT connects.
Hello, I'm Martyn Warwick from TelecomTV, reporting from California at ETSI's fourth meeting of its NFV ISG. I've been asking some interviewees about the Service Provider Impact. Why, for example, has NFV suddenly become so important to service providers, and what are the opportunities for them? One thing that's often pointed out is that it's being driven by service providers, which is pretty unprecedented. Secondly, it's not all about standards. It's about service providers setting out a target, a framework, and challenging vendors to follow them.
There's a common problem amongst all the service providers today, and that is that it's just too expensive to run a network that's built in silos, where the cost per bit is too high to run the services that we're running through the network. The costs continue to escalate, and the revenue is flat or flattening. And we need a better solution that can not only help to drive those costs down, but also to work our way up the value chain. If NFV is being done properly, if it's implemented properly the way we're driving it to, we will be able to create more services in less time using third-party sources that can't even get into our network today.
One of the things that NFV enables is a new business model from the point of view of buying equipment. You used to have to pay a lot of capex up front to buy a very large box, lots of scale. You usually bought the scale in the box so that you had some ability to buy different cards as you evolved it and evolved the box. But now you've really got the ability to sort of you can have a box for 10 minutes. You can have a box for an hour. It's a whole different way of thinking about things. How do I charge for things? You're more into the world of software licensing than you're into the world of hardware licensing. And you're more into the world of flexibility to the customer. So the customer can have services on demand. They can go into a portal and they can say, I want for an hour, I want to have a connection to the internet, and blah, 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 blah. And so it gives great flexibility both to the service provider and to the consumer. I believe that NFV is actually much more important than SDN. It will change the way that networks are architected fundamentally. It's important as really the shift from multi-protocol networking a few years ago, mini computers, to the home computers we have today, the PC. It's a profound evolution of network architecture. And why? Because it changes the way the network elements are actually actualized. In the past, we had to shift big boxes in. We installed them in one fixed place in a network where it was hard enough to do that. And then we got them going and everything else, and they delivered the services. But now we've got the ability on the fly to make these things beam from one place of the network to another place to do different things at different times and all sorts of things. And we really changed the whole way networks are designed.
It potentially creates an opportunity for service providers to extend their supply chain. We're here in Santa Clara. So all of those startup companies, all of the technology innovation that happens in the valley, that's one of the things that I think operators will find valuable. And one of the promises of NFV is because you have a common virtualized infrastructure that you can bring in new suppliers, new forms of innovation to work with your existing partners. And I think that's perhaps one of the great strengths of this approach.
Well, the service providers have been fighting this problem of data growth that is paralleled then by the cost of shipping that data around. And in a mobile world, that's just increasing incredibly fast. To that effect, right, the service providers have to figure out a way to break that hold that data growth has on costs. And what they're looking for are not incremental solutions. They're looking for radical shifts in cost. And NFV, right, really is the key to that, to be able to shift radically the cost, not only of the capital that's spent on the network, but also then the operating costs that are spent on the network as well. And so that's what we're seeing, and that's what's pushing this so fast, and that's why there's such an urgency around this.
TelecomTV, where ICT connects.